Hello everyone and welcome to Popcorn Anatomy. My name is Ursula and today you are in luck. If you normally watch my channel, you know that I usually just cover film and television stuff, but today I will be talking about a theory I have about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, a stage play written by Delphini and Jack Thorne. When Harry Potter and the Cursed Child came out, I was psyched to read it, but I was also scared that it wouldn't exceed my expectations. Needless to say, it didn't. Anyone who knows me personally knows I am not a big fan of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I'm not saying this to diss J.K. Rowling. I mean, she's the queen, and she didn't actually write this book anyway, but she's the queen. Anything she's ever written, including her tweets, are way better than anything I can do. And Delphini and Jack Thorne, the actual authors of this play, are more successful than I'll ever be in my life. So, no, not here to diss anyone. I'm just saying it's a shame that the supposed 8th installment didn't perform to almost anybody's standard. There's a lot that's wrong with it, but it would take too long to go over. The moment that really broke it for a lot of us was the fact that Voldemort has a child. This annoyed many because it kind of changed the image that many people had about Voldemort. But what if I were to tell you that I don't think he ever actually had a child? I don't think Delphi was ever Voldemort's kid at all. Let's start with what we know about Voldy. So let's start with the obvious. Voldemort isn't the type of character to have a child. We keep being reminded in installments 1 through 7 that he is incapable of love. That's what almost killed him in the first place when he gave Harry his scar as a baby. Now, Cursed Child does give the explanation that there were no emotional attachments involved, that he did this solely to have an heir. But this doesn't fully make sense. Voldemort is someone who is so distant from humanity, it's difficult to imagine that he'd ever do something as intimate as having intercourse with someone else, even without the emotional connection. Also, Voldemort is a character who, among many other traits, is obsessed with greatness. For himself. I'm not sure he thinks as somebody who would want an heir to continue what he did. He is the one true Dark Lord. Bellatrix, who was supposedly Delphi's mom, was Voldemort's most loyal and obsessive follower, and it's pretty clear that she is infatuated with the idea that she has of him. But it's always been clear that this annoys him and that he finds her foolish. She does gain some respect for him through tasks that she accomplishes, but never so much that he ends up giving her what she wants. Now, the next part hasn't fully been confirmed in the books or anything, but when I think of Voldemort, I think of someone who is incapable of having kids. I think of someone who is so inhuman that he's become sterile, or someone who is so disfigured and so maybe handicapped in the first few books that he's biologically lost the ability to impregnate someone. Lord Voldemort split his being into several parts and put those parts into 7 different objects. Then he became destroyed and had to be pieced together and gradually became a man again. But in his healing process, he was so weak at one point that he had to share the body of someone else. If all of this doesn't make you lose your virility, I don't know what does. And through these events and his use of dark magic, this character became severely disfigured. He became this thin, lizard-looking shell of a man, and his skin changed drastically. And I don't mean to get graphic, guys, but if he lost his hair and his nose, then who knows what else he may have lost. And if he didn't lose that, then at the very least he lost his virility. I'm sorry, guys. Of course, this could just be me speculating, and I might be all wrong, but that's where the theory comes in. There is no direct proof that Delphi is Voldemort's daughter. No proof at all. All we have is her backstory. She grew up as a lonely orphan, and then one day, Rodolphus Lestrange, that's Bellatrix's husband, paid her a visit and told her that she was his wife's illegitimate daughter with Voldemort, and also told her that there was a supposed prophecy that she was meant to fulfill. All of this sounds very sketchy to me. In fact, I thought while reading the play that it would turn out that she'd been lied to, that she'd been used to get Voldemort back. Of course, this was never confirmed in the play, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't have happened, or even that it wasn't suggested. First of all, Delphi would be the perfect character to manipulate at a young age. She was an orphan, she had no one who loved her, she was vulnerable, and she'd been through trauma. She wanted to feel like she was part of something, like she was loved, like she was important. If you tell someone who is broken and vulnerable that they are the child of one of the most powerful wizards of all time, their self-esteem is bound to go up, and they're going to feel close to whoever you told them they're related to. The other thing is that if Rodolphus Lestrange has been cheated on by his wife with his boss, why would someone as selfish and arrogant as he pay a visit to this illegitimate child who was an insult to his dignity, and then tell her everything that happened and make her feel grandiose about all of this? Unless he is such a crazy fanatic that he still worships his wife's lover even after death, it just doesn't seem like it would be in his character at all. It would make more sense for him to make up a scandal like this in order to appeal to this troubled child and make her do all the dirty work in bringing Voldemort back. I think Delphi had nothing to do with Voldemort. She was not his child, but rather a simple, neglected orphan who, as I said, was troubled and vulnerable. Rodolphus Lestrange found out about her in his search for a young person who he could manipulate in order to bring back the Dark Lord and continue the movement that the Death Eaters had started. She had experienced more hurtful things than the average child, so he was able to mold her into a fanatic because she was already damaged. But to do that, he had to appeal to her. He had to give her a reason to join his cause, so it got personal. He made up a story that would appeal to her. He told her that she did have a family, two of the world's most powerful and notorious wizards, in fact. But now they were dead, and it was her job to bring one of them back because Voldemort would only listen to her, his precious daughter. He made her feel wanted. So she believed this, and she became this fanatic wizard with a grandiose idea about herself and the Dark Lord and the superiority of purebloods. But she had been played. She just never found out. Of course, this is only a theory. There's a chance it's not true, though it could very well be. There's no harm in believing in this theory, though, especially if it improves the characterization of Delphi and confirms the notion that Voldemort is really as ruthless and inhuman as we were led to believe in books 1 through 7. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, subscribe to Popcorn Anatomy for more interesting news, theories, and analysis of your favorite films and television shows. Don't forget to give this video a like and tell me below what you'd like to hear from me next. I upload whenever I can. See you soon.